Alright guys, so today I'm going to explain what it truly means to be a Muslim, right? So this is going to be an interesting perspective for most people when it comes to viewing um, being Islam in this way. So basically there are things that we are in control and there are things that we are not in control of, right? So what are things that we are in control of, right? These are things like, you know, like what you put in your mouth, right? Like, what type of foods do you put in your mouth? You know, how much how much are you studying? How much do you work per day, right? These are things that we can control. Now, there's certain things that we can't control, like the outcome of something. We can't control the outcome, like whether this girl will say yes, whether whether you blow up on social media, like how many subscribers you get. Like these are things you can't control, right? And the things that you can't control, you have to leave to Allah. So this is the way. So this is like the way I've been viewing it. So like I think like what it truly means to be a Muslim is to submit to Allah, right? But also submitting to the things that you can't control. That's what it really means. What I mean, like I said, there's things that you can't control. For example, let's talk about social media, right? Like I can control the amount of videos I create and the quality of the videos, right? These are the two things I can control. But I cannot control how many views a post gets. I cannot control how many subscribers I get. That is up to Allah. Allah is responsible for that. So what it truly means to be Muslim is if you want to have a result in life, you have to focus on doing your part, doing the things like posting on social media. I don't know, like you do these things, right? You put the hard work in every day. You go to the gym, you eat right, and the things that the outcome of something, you leave to Allah. Because Allah is ultimately the one who determines the outcome, right? Because there's things you can't control, like even the people that you meet, like the people that you meet in your life, like you won't be able to control like the amount, like the friends that you have today are because you found them coincidentally. Like you didn't go out of your way to meet like Sam. Okay, Sam, I know this guy. I'm going to actually like meet this guy. He's 5'8". He weighs this much. He's this ethnicity. Okay, I'm gonna go find him. Like no, that's not how it works. Like that's not how friendship works. Like you create friends and bonds by just meeting people randomly, right? And Allah is the one in control of those things, right? There are things you can't control, right? For example, let's talk about let's say you're to propose to a girl for marriage, right? The way she reacts to that, you cannot control, right? If I could basically like propose to like 100 sisters, and each sister would have a different response to my proposal. Some might accept it, some might not. And what you have to realize is that Allah has already predetermined how that sister will react to you. This is an important concept to understand, guys. It's not just about like, and you have to be content. So let's say, for example, if a girl, if you were to, let's say you propose to a girl, if she says no, you have to be completely content with that, because Allah has made her say that. If that girl, if that sister said no to you, Allah has intentionally already predetermined her reaction towards you, which means that if you submit it to Allah, if you're Muslim, you should be completely content with the things that may not go your way. Because like I said, you can't control everything. You can't control whether this girl will say yes or no to you. But what you can control is taking the action, like proposing. Like that part you can take control of. Like you can take control of that. But how she reacts to your proposal and how she reacts to you is completely outside of your control. And what it means to be Muslim is to be basically to be content with the things that are outside of your control, right? So whether this girl says yes or no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because everything is alhamdulillah. All the things that are outside of your control is alhamdulillah. You guys have to realize this. Like it's crazy. Like, the amount of subscribers I get, the amount of views this post gets, I have absolutely no control of that. But what I do have control is, how many days, how many, posts I make, the quality of the video. Like, these are things I can control. There are leading indicators, actions that I can control. I can control the actions I take every day, right? But I can't control the results of the actions. Do you guys understand? Because the results of the actions are completely up to Allah. So guys, like, and when you can like function like this as a human being, it's like so powerful, guys. Like this is when I realized like, oh crap, Islam is like really like, this is when I realized like being a Muslim is like, you're just built different. Because I could have someone point a gun to my head. If Allah wrote in me for me to live a couple more years, I would not die if I had like someone like point a gun to me. Like if there was a gun pointed to my head, if Allah has written in me that I was going to die, then I would have died in that moment. But if Allah wrote in me that I was not going to die in that moment, that I was going to, He already wrote in me, like, okay, Allah willed for me to live a little bit longer for something else, right? It doesn't matter if a guy's going to point a gun at me. I'm going to still live, right? Because like I said, I can't control whether the guy pulls the trigger or not. I can't control that, right? Because those are things outside of my control. So the things that I can't control, I leave to Allah. So if a guy points a gun to me, all I have to do is just leave it to Allah. That's all it is. That's what it means to be a Muslim, guys. Is to be completely content with the things that are outside of your control. Whether this girl says yes or not, doesn't matter. Everything is alhamdulillah. Whether she says no, alhamdulillah. Whether she says yes, alhamdulillah. Everything is already predetermined. Whether this girl says no or not, doesn't matter. Everything is predetermined. Everything is, like, guys, you guys don't understand. Like, this is so powerful. Because you're literally moving through life by just focusing on the things that you can't control. Like me making this video right now, right? And then the things that are outside of your control, the things that you can't control, like the amount of kids you have, right? The personality of your kids, like you won't control that. Like you can't 100% control how your kids will turn out. Like in terms of like their character, like how like their personalities, right? You can't control that. Allah has already decided that for you. So it's actually so when you want results in something, you basically focus on ferociously doing the actions, doing the things that you can't control, and the results and the things that you can't control, you put taqwa, right? You leave it to Allah. All the things you can't control in your life, whether it be, you know, how this girl responds to you, the amount of social media followers you have, you know, like, you know, the personality of your kids, like the people that you meet, you leave all that to Allah. Taqwa. You leave all of it to Allah. You guys understand? This is what it means to be a Muslim, right? It's just, guys, this is like insane because it's complete trust in Allah, right? Because at least, because this is a very powerful way to live. Because, you know, here's the thing, like, when you're put in a dire situation, like if someone pointed a gun at you, right? Like, like most people would just freak out, right? But if you're a Muslim, if someone points a gun at you, you're gonna be like, I'll leave it to Allah. Because whether this guy pulls the trigger or not, I can't control that. But at least Allah can control it. Because Allah controls the things that I can't control. So it doesn't matter what dire situation you're in. It doesn't matter like what situation you're in. It doesn't matter, right? All you need to do as a human being is to focus on the things that you can't control, right? And however things turn out in your life, you leave to Allah. It's constant taqwa. This is constant taqwa. It's to leave the things that you can't control in your life to Allah. So how this person reacts to you, how this ends up happening, how you get this result, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's always you just leave it to Allah. Which means that your mental brain power should only be focused on things that you can't control. So the way I function in my life is I do things I can't control, right? So like if I want to lose weight, right? You know, if I want to like you know, have a physique, right? And lose weight. What I can do is I can track my macros, you know? I can make sure that I'm in deficit. These are actions that I can control. And how that looks and plays out is completely up to Allah. All right? You know, I can't control the amount I get on the test. But what I can control is how much I study. Right? I can't control the score of the test. I can't control that. Right? That's up to Allah. But what I can control is everything else that goes into it. The amount of time studied, like the efficiency of the study. I can control this part. But I can't control what I ultimately get. I can't control the outcome. Right? Because the outcome is already predetermined by Allah. You guys understand? So like, this is what it really means to be Muslim, guys. And it's a very powerful way of thinking because you just got to focus on things you have control over. And the things you can't control, you just leave to Allah. It's taqwa. Right? It's how it goes, guys, you know? And if everything bad happens to you, like if there's something that's bad happening to you, bro, Like if just something that's bad happened to you, like whether like, you know, something like bad happens, right? You just know that you had no control of that. Like the weather today, right? Or, you know, whether your flight got canceled. Like these are things you can't control, bro. Like you can't control whether the flight gets canceled or not, or whether the flight gets postponed, or whether like, you know, all these things are like terrible things that happen in your life, right? It's like you can't control those things. So you leave those things to Allah, and if those things happen, you submit to it. Right? You submit to the fact that this is happening to you right now. Right? And you say that this is what Allah wills. This is what it means to be Muslim. Because like I said, like I can't control everything in my life, but I can control the things I can't control, but there's certain things in life I'm not going to be able to control. Right? And whatever bad or good happens, it's completely up to Allah, and I must submit to that. I must be content with whatever bad things that happen to me because it was ultimately already predetermined by Allah, and it's what Allah willed. Guys, this is powerful, guys. So, I mean, like when you live life like this, like you're on a different mode, bro. You're like literally like freaking like 180, like I'm telling you guys, like the aura and the amount of like all anxiety is gone. Anxiety is just gone now. You have no anxiety. Because anything that happens in your life that you can't control for, it's all Allah. Allah planned it all. Allah, you know, like Allah did everything. All right? So whatever good or bad happens to your life, it's like Allah already willed it. It was already predetermined by Him. Right? So like it literally like just erases any form of anxiety because you just got to focus on things you can't control for. Right? Like things you can't control. It makes life simple, guys.